won't go down the whole list. Lyndon Johnson, I don't think we've ever had a president who understood the levers of power in Washington and how to maneuver, manipulate, and press them at the right time, as President Johnson did. And again, his record shows it. No way that you get through the kind of legislation he got through on civil rights and others without knowing, you know, President Johnson liked to walk in the room and he'd quickly scan the room. And if there's someone in the room that he didn't know, he'd have one of his aides find out quickly, because he specialized in knowing what every person's weakness was. You know, is his weakness talking about a senator? Is his weakness glory, vanity, whiskey, women? What is it? Lyndon Johnson wanted to know what the weakness was, because he'd found it away and therefore be able to call on it sometime when he needed it. But in answer to your question, we've had a lot of smart presidents. Everyone's smart in his own way. If you gave them the SAT test,
well, it's a visceral sense.
The better educated ones probably would score better.
We're out of time, but I just want to, do you think Nixon will be rethought in any remotely favorable way?
I'm pausing because the word remotely favorable way.
Well, because time passes.
No, but President Nixon, he had things in his presidency that I think future historians, some present historians, note in a positive way. By the way, I'm not so sure that the opening to China will be one of those. We'll see. Right now it plays as a definite positive, but as time goes along, we'll see. But it's hard for me to see, I would say that I can't see how his presidency isn't always going to be cast in the light of there was a constitutional crisis in the country created by the president. It still sticks in my throat to say so, Carol, after all these years. One, you know, I call him President Nixon, as he was, that what we put under the just single name Watergate, in quotation marks, is shorthand for a widespread criminal conspiracy that was operated and led in many ways out of the Oval Office itself. Now, I didn't get onto the story as soon as I should have, because I didn't think that was possible. I might have, and I can remember thinking some of the early stages, you know, can this be true? And I didn't want to believe it. As an American, I'm hoping is to hope, well, okay, it'll just be confined down here, or at least it'll stop at this level, or certainly when you get to Haldeman and Ehrlichman, surely the president was not involved in this. But you know, what came face to face with was the facts and the evidence showed clearly that that's what it was. So having said that, no, I don't think history is going to change its mind about that. You say remotely, I mean, maybe some things, but that's going to be the defining thing of his presidency. And let me just close by saying that I've said for a long time that there's a tragedy in the Nixon presidency. That President Nixon came to the presidency perhaps as well prepared as anyone we'd ever had in terms of his resume. He'd been a congressman, he'd been a senator, he'd been vice president. He was interested in foreign policy and domestic policy. He came so well prepared. And the promise of what might have been, I think, is one thing that future historians may spend more time on than present historians.
Do you see a woman president on the horizon?
As I say, you know, he who lives by the crystal ball learns to eat a lot of broken glass.
On that.
I don't intend to eat any. I do think it's possible that a woman can be elected president.
We might see that. You'll be on the story. Dan, thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's been really a thrill having you here.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Carol. I can't believe that your son is as tall as he is, as old as he is.
6'4", 15 years. He's not that old. But
Well, no, but...